Hey, what's up guys? Rev here. So one of my catchphrases on this channel is "your likes are public." And if you don't know, that is a reference to the fact that your Twitter likes are publicly visible. It is a very common tactic people use to expose antis as hypocrites, because for every time an anti comes out and says something along the lines of lolicon is pedophilia, there is a very good chance that that same exact type of content can be found in their publicly visible Twitter likes. Well, this long-standing catchphrase on my channel is in serious trouble because it appears that Twitter is working on allowing users to hide their likes. Truly, this is the end of an era. My career is finished. I'm out of material. I'm a hack. I'm washed up. It's essentially over. Well, not really. So yes, this is a funny tactic to use, but there's a million other ways to expose antis as hypocrites. I've actually kind of toned down my use of just making videos of exposing people's likes. Like, we've done it a million times before, so we need something a little bit more than just hypocrisy in their likes. And keep in mind, this is going to be an option, so some antis won't be smart enough to turn on this hiding option. And when they do, simply change the phrase from "your likes are public" to "what are you hiding in your likes?" And beyond that, I mean, there's many other ways to expose their hypocrisy. Just look at their words, look at their tweets, their replies, see who they're replying to, see who they're following. And honestly, it's even easier than that. And I'll give you an example just from today. Okay, here's your general run-of-the-mill anti-lolicon post. This person saying what kind of a person would like these characters, right? And it's jacked up. 21,000 likes from a very small account. Likely bought, right? They likely bought these likes. And they're saying if you like Megamine, you are a pedo. Well, let's see. Let's expose their hypocrisy in about 2 seconds. Let's look at their profile. Oh, look at that. A public anime list. Let's click on it. Let's scroll for 2 seconds. Completed Arrow Manga Sensei, one of the biggest lolicon animes, only 2 weeks ago. Fantastic. But yeah, this is definitely, we're heading towards the end of this era. You know, maybe your likes are public, maybe they're not, but I can tell you there's always going to be a way to expose antis for their blatant hypocrisy on anything to do with fictional content. So now we're going to change topics and we're going to discuss this post right here. So this morning, the American VTuber agency Lucid announced that they are suspending one of their talents for 10 days after this VTuber engaged in some inflammatory discussions on Twitter. Now you're thinking to yourself, this must be very serious. What kind of crazy things was this VTuber saying? Well, here's a sample of the kind of discussions this VTuber Rosa was having that resulted in their suspension. So it involves the R word. Okay, so a few days ago, Vebe said the R word on stream, and that ignited a whole host of discussion on Twitter about that word. Some people saying it's okay, some people saying it's not okay, some people saying it's okay under a certain context. But the point is, it is an open discussion about this word and whether it's okay to say or not. And that's what this thread is doing. And quite frankly, I think it is a thoughtful discussion and one of the better phrased discussions about this word. I think it raises some good points and some good questions, even if that means making some people uncomfortable because it's about a word that some people find offensive. Well, unfortunately, 10-day suspension for this discussion. That seems bad enough on its own, right? But when you go to the agency itself, its page, here's their statement, their agency statement. They are a US-based virtual entertainment talent agency embracing radical freedom of creative expression. This is the agency suspending one of their talents for discussing the R word. Not saying it at anyone, just discussing the term, which is a very relevant discussion on Twitter right now. That was enough to land a 10-day suspension. So obviously, the fact that they have this as their moniker, radical freedom of creative expression, it comes as probably no surprise that this announcement of the suspension has been largely criticized. The vast majority of the replies to this tweet are negative in calling out this company's hypocrisy, as well as just showing their disappointment that someone who clearly embraces, or at least pretends to embrace, creative freedom would turn around and suspend one of their talents over something so benign, right? But don't worry, amongst the valid criticism, there were people supporting this agency. And quite predictably, the usual cloud chasers have taken the opportunity to voice their unwanted opinion on this matter. Here we have Marina, a person I recently dubbed the CEO of slurs, because apparently she holds the sole authority to determine what words are okay or not okay, even if that means speaking on the behalf of others, including those with mental disabilities who disagree with her standpoint. Today, she has taken some time to bootlick a corporation the second it punishes a VTuber in a way that serves her own agenda. Besides her post celebrating the suspension, she made this reply stating, "Having seen her posts, this is absolutely the right move. Sometimes people don't realize the influence they have as a creator or their ties to others or a company and share things without realizing the problems with what's being said. Good on Lucid for accountability." So besides the irony of one of the participants in the Hogwarts Legacy-related harassment campaign talking about accountability, far be it for me to say that this might be an overreach to suspend a VTuber for 10 days over a discussion about a controversial word, a word that was not directed at anyone in her threads, while serving in an agency promoting radical freedom of creative expression. Her tweets were non-controversial discussions about the word. If you thought they were confrontational, that reflects your own insecurities surrounding the topic and your unwillingness to have an honest discussion about this subject, and taking the easy route to just treat it black and white, where it's flat out wrong to you and you won't even bother listening to others who question that narrative. Once again, this is another person making multiple posts dunking on a VTuber they never cared about before today, because it's a chance to dogpile on someone while simultaneously virtue signaling about people needing to be treated nicer. She then goes on to say in another reply, "Embracing radical freedom of creative expression doesn't mean a company has to support or allow talent to say whatever they want, especially when it's harmful or just flat out wrong, like the posts in question." So, harmful. Should we really punish talents for saying harmful words, including other harmful words like idiot? If a word is harmful and they say it, should they be suspended? No. And flat out wrong, I think plenty of people disagree with that. And once again, she's speaking on behalf of people with mental disabilities who don't find this word inherently harmful. And even if this word is just flat out wrong, this VTuber has the right to be wrong by saying the word or having a discussion about it. Just like your opinion on this matter, you have the right to be wrong, which you are. So now we're going to switch to this thread. I think it's pretty interesting and some of the interactions are quite head-scratching. So this VTuber says, "Gonna be blunt, a lot of creators are way too thin-skinned to be putting themselves out there on the internet. If you're gonna have a full meltdown whenever you get any kind of pushback or someone says a word you don't like, then for your own good, this probably isn't for you," which I totally agree with. There are way too many VTubers and content creators who are just too thin-skinned for this online space, okay? With content creation comes a lot of attention. And if you can't deal with small criticism or small backlash, or if certain words or things you see are going to cause you to have a public meltdown, then maybe content creation just isn't for you. And for your own well-being, you should avoid content creation. It is not for everyone, okay? But people saw this statement, and perhaps it was based on the timing of this post with the whole Vebe stuff. People started writing their own headcanons about what this post was trying to say, including this person in the quote retweets another VTuber saying, "Say you want to use slurs without saying a challenge," which, do you see any point in this tweet? Did they say anything about slurs and wanting to say them? It's completely ridiculous. And you have other replies like this one, another VTuber pre-debut saying, "It's time to clout chase people who want to hear slurs." Again, where did that VTuber say anything of that sort? And another reply, this one I really love. "Silence is complacency. Not saying anything because it's not going to change is a terrible mindset, and if everyone held their tongues because it seemed useless to speak out, then change would never even have the opportunity to happen." That's a whole lot of word salad that had absolutely nothing to do with that original post. And I love the silence is complacency narrative. I think that is the worst standard ever. So basically what I can do is point to this person and say, unless you spoke on every single ill, terrible, bad thing, injustice in the world, then you're being complacent. Have you had an opinion on every single bad thing that's happened in this world? Like, be for real. The only reason you're even talking about some of these subjects is because it gets you easy clout on Twitter and in the VTubing scene currently. And, you know, it's sad when you make a post like that and you have to come out and clarify what they actually mean. And, you know, for the VTubing scene, it's not surprising that people will twist your words to try to get clout for saying some, well, kind of meaningless words that are supposed to be virtue signaling. But that's going to do it for this video. I know there was a whole lot of topics in there. Just more drama in the VTubing scene, what's new. But please let me know all of your thoughts about the related topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.